Creepy guys in white suits? Sean Connery talking to dead guys?
I'm gonna count to 3.
And baby carriages in the middle of a gunfight. I'm Peter Bielagus, and this is Money in the Movies. Hello and welcome to Money in the Movies, where we review films based on their financial accuracy. Today's movie is The Untouchables, directed by Brian De Palma and starring Kevin Costner, Sean Connery, and Robert De Niro as the notorious gangster Al Capone. The film chronicles the famous Treasury agent Eliot Ness, who, along with his gang of crime fighters, brings down one of the most famous gangsters in American history. It was Eliot Ness's job to enforce the Volstead Act, which from 1920 to 1933 banned the manufacture, sale, or transportation of intoxicating liquors. Ness was sent to Chicago to
deal with the flow of illegal liquor and the violence which it creates.
Now, historically, this film is actually way off. There were not 4 Untouchables, there were actually 10. The creepy guy in the white suit, Frank Nitti, was actually never thrown off of a roof. And, Eliot Ness, wasn't even the guy who brought down Al Capone. Eliot Ness mainly targeted illegal breweries. The credit of apprehending Capone actually goes to a man named Frank Wilson, whose life appears to be loosely portrayed by this character in the film, Oscar Wallace. In the film, Wallace is the character who comes up with the idea that the way to get one of the most violent criminals in history is on a charge of
income tax evasion.
Anyone who has income is supposed to file a tax return with the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS. A tax return is nothing more than a summary of how much you have earned, what you owe in taxes, and what you've already paid in. If you have already paid more than you owe, then you get a tax refund. If you haven't paid enough, then you have a tax liability. The 16th Amendment to the United States Constitution says, "The Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever source derived." So what that means is that if money is coming into your pocket, then the government is owed their share, even if that is illegal income. So, Peter, what you're saying is that a drug dealer is supposed to file a tax return? Yes, that's actually what I'm saying. Okay, well, how the heck does that happen? How does a drug dealer file a tax return? Well, if a drug dealer is self-employed, which I think most of them are, they would actually file a form called Schedule C, which is where self-employed people declare their income and subtract business expenses so they can state their taxable profit. Now, I know what you're thinking. Whoa, Peter. Business expenses? You mean a drug dealer on their tax return can deduct business operating expenses, like the cost of firearms or bodyguards or the cost of bribing police officials? Wait a minute. The electric bill in the crack house is tax deductible? Well, the answer to all of that is yes. A famous case that actually came after the time of Al Capone was Commissioner versus Tellier. This case revealed that illegal income is taxable and you may deduct business expenses. The IRS is actually not in the business of enforcing where your income comes from. That's the problem of the DEA or the FBI or the local police. The IRS only cares that you report what you made. In the film, Ness and his crew are eventually able to prove that Al Capone has
Vast, undeclared monies.
And they are able to get him on income tax evasion. Al Capone was sentenced to 11 years in the then-new Alcatraz prison, and he died in 1947. So what can we learn from The Untouchables? Well, if you are involved in an illegal enterprise, you need to declare that income. And by the way, if you're involved in an illegal enterprise, thanks for watching my show, Mr. Drug Dealer. But for the rest of you, you probably don't have any illegal income. But there probably is some money that you earned that you didn't declare. I mean, remember when you helped your uncle for a day with his painting business and he just paid you in cash? Or maybe a collection agent forgave some of the debt that you owed. Both of those are taxable as income. So in short, declare everything. While the film is historically inaccurate, financially, it's right on the money. Not declaring income is illegal, and you can get fined and even sent to jail for doing that. Therefore, I give it 3 out of $3 signs. I'm Peter Bielagus, and this is Money in the Movies.